Hi guys, this video will be about a friend of mine, a guy who is in my shooting club. His name is Björn, which means beer in Sweden. Not one you drink, the one you are afraid of in the forest. Anyway, he's given me permission to talk about this now. It's been a while, and yeah, it's still a problem for him. I'll get to that in a moment. So as you can see here, if you can read Swedish, it's a very serious headline on a Swedish tabloid called Aftonbladet, and in English it says "sent mine," I'm not sure what kind of mine it is, and a grenade over the post. So immediately when you see this, you think, well, someone has sent like a tank mine and a anti-personnel explosive grenade with shrapnel and shit in a package over the post. It's not really what happened. So this is two separate things. So there's two different persons. Doesn't have anything to do with each other. They don't know each other, and it's in the same municipality. It's called Strängnäs in Sweden, just southwest of Stockholm, something like that. So what it says is that they've been trying to sell hand grenades and mines on the internet, and that the police saw them trying to sell them on different web pages, and that military police did a search warrant in their homes, and they found 10 hand grenades at a man's house and links for a belt-fed machine gun, just links. And now they are suspects of crime against the law of war materials in Sweden. Okay, this sounds very serious, right? Here's the next news. This one was from December 1st, 2017. This one is from 24th November 2017, so it's earlier, but it's more information. This is from SVT News, which is Swedish television. It's basically Swedish answer to Pravda, a state-owned tax-financed thing. And it says that the man who lives in Strängnäs tried to sell a hand grenade on Facebook. So on Facebook marketplace, basically. And as you can see, this doesn't really look like any hand grenade, really. It's what's called a practice grenade. And it's totally empty. So this is ones he had. They're totally empty. They're hollow. And when you practice throwing hand grenades in the military, you can put some kind of firecracker inside of it that triggers when you pull the sprint, and then you throw it away and it says poof. So it's a vehicle for... like a firecracker, basically, just for practice. And all military material has what is called a kronmärkning, which is it has the 3 crowns. The Swedish one of the Swedish emblems are 3 crowns, except after the flag it's mainly 3 crowns, and it's marked with 3 crowns and has like an inventory number. These things do not have an inventory number, and if you live close to a shooting field, and they have one in Strängnäs called Härads skjutfält, and it's a military shooting field, and often they don't use it, and then the civilians are free to walk around the forest, and then you can find these kind of things all over the place. They just lay there and rot because it's totally not dangerous thing, basically. So the news tried to present this as they caught some kind of big fish selling hand grenades from the military or something. Not really what happened. So he was prosecuted, or they were trying to prosecute him for this law I mentioned. And it basically says the same thing as for the previous grenade. And now we have pictures of them. Here is a grenade salesman that might not have a trial. Because the prosecutor has to dismiss the trial, the prosecution against this person, Björn, the one I know. And the court has to decide what happens with the military's hand grenades. that he tried to sell. So he enlisted a really good lawyer that I also know, who's called Sebastian Scheiman. He's very good with these kind of laws and laws with gun ownership and stuff like that. We've been using him several times to kick police butt in court. So yeah, he managed to get this dropped because it's totally ridiculous. And it's basically what really happened is, so we have conscription nowadays again in Sweden, and the military is worried that they won't tell you this, but they're worried that the wrong people will join the military and steal stuff. So they go after bullshit like this just to prove a point that they're really anxious about stealing shit from the military. If some gangster actually stole shit from the military, they wouldn't be able to do shit anyway. So this is just posturing for civilians and making life difficult for law-abiding citizens. And the really sad part is that the attorney or the, what's it called? The district attorney, or prosecutor, I guess, I'm not sure. The one who pressed charges from the state. She's an asshole, and it went prestige in this for her. She went out in media. I couldn't find that article, but I remember reading it. So this is over a year later. This is 2018. So yeah, they're that slow. Anyway, so she went out in media and said she's gonna use all the state's resources to get this guy. So she tried to make some kind of career move out of Björn. And she fucked that up. But she's a woman, so she probably get away with it anyway, because we have a feministic government in Sweden or something. Who knows? There's very much I could tell about females in that in the justice system in Sweden, and illegal bullshit done around them. Well, that's another video. So anyway, she really wanted to go after him, but she couldn't. And now comes the fun part. So he applied for a firearms license in Sweden, where he lives. So it's the police is divided into different districts, and he lives just west of Stockholm. So he lives that region of the police handles the applications, and they refused him for bullshit reasons. Everywhere else, members in my shooting club can get their licenses, but he couldn't, because they're after him where he lives. They're mobbing him and doing everything they can to make life difficult for him, just because they can. It's totally ridiculous, corrupt bullshit from the Swedish police in that area. And so he moved to another region and applied for a license there. He could only live there for 3 months, and he applied he rescinded the license application in where he used to live, and tried to get a license in the new region, in the Uppsala region. But it was so long for him to go from that place to work, so he could only stay there for 3 months until it was unfeasible to live there. So as soon as the first day he moved back, they sent the license applications to that region, and he got denied again. So yeah, so they cooperated, the other place, Uppsala police, cooperated with those assholes to fuck with him. And yeah, that's the way Sweden works. And this is a perfect example of the police going after law-abiding people, because in Sweden we have 2 laws. One for the criminals and one for regular people. So it's basically a police state for law-abiding persons, and for criminals, anything goes. If you're a criminal, come to Sweden, commit any crime you want, and you're free to go. There's one example of a person who committed, for under 8 years, he committed over 200 crimes that the police know about. 200. All over the scale. And the last one he committed was he had a person killed. No sentencing, no nothing. But they put resources on going after law-abiding citizens, like my friend Björn, and real criminals, career criminals, multi-criminals, they don't give a shit about. That's Sweden. Okay, my little rant is over. Have a nice day.